feel like I've got a brand new hand and everything. Obviously with all that pain I used to go through, I feel a little bit weird sometimes when I hit the bag or I hit the pads, because that pain's not there anymore. I don't spend as much time on my hands as I did before when I used to like tape it up. So yeah, I mean everything went the right way.
So. How long were you talk with that pain, Amir?
You know, I got so used to it. It probably happened for around about it happened in my second fight. So since then, so you look at like 8 years of just pain in my hand, in my right hand. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I had to work on my jab so much that it got so good. But yeah, the hand problem was always a issue for me, and whenever I used to hit with it, I know that it was always gonna give me a little pinch of pain. But now to hit with it and know that you're not gonna get any pain, I mean, it feels totally different, man. Yeah, and then it's good, you know. It's only gonna give me confidence to throw more right hands with more force and more power, and go right through the shot with the shot, go right through with the shot instead of holding back a bit when you throw that right hand. So
psychologically it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to take some time. I still think it's going to take a little bit more time. I think I start feeling it properly, getting used to throwing it properly when I start sparring, and that's going to start probably in 2 weeks' time.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So no, you
I mean, like you've been out for so long, obviously the hand and waiting for a fight. I mean, how frustrating has it been, because you had that defeat?
Yeah, I think, you know, things happen for a reason, and it gave me time to sort out a lot of stuff that was going on, especially at home, and be a man and do things my way, basically. So the time I had off before the hand got me to kind of fix things around me, and also then you know, just kind of sit back and think about where I want to be in the next 12 months, and where I want my career to go, and how long I want to stay in the game. I mean, I feel great. I'm in the gym now. I'm training hard, and I'm in good fitness, and I just need to make sure now, like, these next couple of years are my big years where I want to definitely shine, and I think that I'm at my peak of my career now, so I want to make sure that I maximise everything I have.
Where do you think you can go in these next 12 months? Like what are
Definitely
the fights that you will look at and you will go, they'll define my career?
So you got big fights out there, because look, I am mandatory for the Garcia Thurman fight. I really believe that I will win another world title, and I am going to win another world title, and it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be hard. But obviously I know I have the talent and ability to do that. I work harder than ever now, because I know that, you know, if I give myself a 4 year gap, 4 or 5 year gap, I want to make sure in them 4 or 5 years I push it so hard that I give it my all. I never want to look back and think I could have done a little bit more. So, you know, I know world titles there, and also some big fights as well. Obviously, I'm in a position where whoever I fight is going to be a big fight. And yeah.
When are you thinking of fighting?
I want to be back in the ring around April, before Ramadan. So I want to fight twice this year, before Ramadan, and then maybe just before the year ends, around about November time. So they're two times in the year I want to fight. Also, you know, my name's getting mentioned amongst big names in boxing, world champions like the Garcia Thurman, Kell Brook. Then my name get mentioned with likes of like people like Pacquiao and, you know, Bradley, and then people like that. So I mean, the name is there. It's all about now just pulling off a good performance in my next fight, which I want to be out in April, and then get back on winning ways again and get them big fights.
Where is that going to be? In Britain or?
I'm going to try to get in Britain. Yeah, I'm going to fight in Britain for 4 years. So I think fighting back in the UK would be nice. Give the UK fans a great show. Like I said, it's been a long time, and I've been back to UK, so I want to definitely go back to UK and put on a good fight.
Who's your target opponent for that?
Well, target opponent, I've got my team. I've got, obviously Al Heyman, as you know, is my manager who advises me and also tells me who I should be fighting. So obviously Asif and Al are gonna have a sit down and go through opponents and take it from there, really, because I need to make sure that I get the right fight, and it's against a decent name as well. You know, I just don't want to walk in the park fight. I mean, I want a decent fight to take to the UK and give the UK fans a good fight.
You talk about April though. Does that mean it's not going to be Kell Brook? Because that would be maybe May, somewhere outdoors, and
you know, I think it was a little bit silly having that little row with him on social media. I think it was a bit silly, and I just think everyone knows I want to be back in the ring around about April time. I'll just let Kell go and deal with the mandatory. I can fight the winner of that, so give me another option.
Yeah.
So Kell can go ahead. He has a mandatory fight against Errol Spence, and maybe the winner of that is someone I could fight.
It's your second fight. That would be your second.
Could be my second, yeah. So yeah, I mean that puts me in a great position because then you've got Garcia Thurman. That's also a mandatory for the WBC at 147. So it's probably in good positions, you know. So either I could go for the winner of the Kell Brook fight with Errol Spence, because I definitely this year I want to win a world title, so I want a title fight. So that gives me two options to fight for.
What about
three of the 4 world titles in the world.
I mean, whether Eddie was talking about the negotiation team and he wanted a 7:30 split for Kell, which he claimed was just unrealistic. It should have been like 45-55 max. Or
yeah, you know, to be honest with you, because I mean, when the fight comes close and we get really close to it, I think that's when we start talking percentages. I think it was a bit silly where so soon before even the fight happening we started talking percentages. I think it was a bit silly that. So I just think we should just think about the next fight, and then after that, when we are close to having the Kell Brook fight, start talking in percentages. But it's not going to be this next fight, and that's something I made clear to Eddie Hearn and Kell's team, so they know that it's not going to happen next. And also like you know, I would like if the fight between me and Kell was to happen, I think it'll even be bigger if he had a world title fight. You know, if it was a world title fight. He's going to
stay around. It'll move up. But this is he keeps saying.
I mean, he's saying that he wants to
get the weight. I
mean, if he looks at it as a business, then I think it'll be the wrong move to make, because most of the money is in the welterweight division.
Yeah.
Now, if he wants to make good money, he needs to stay in the welterweight division. If he wants to move up to 154, there's not much money in that division, so he's going to take a big fall. The fight between me and him then disappears.
You wouldn't go up for that. You want to have
147 is my weight. I mean, I tried, you know, going to 155. It just didn't work for me. I mean, if you look at my career, started off at 135, going up to 154. You know, it'd be quite difficult. So I think 154 might be a little bit hard. 147 is the weight, and if it is to happen, that's to happen then. And I think I made it clear to everyone in the UK as well, and all the media, was that my next fight after that, I mean, the operation I had was quite serious. You know, I need to make sure that my hand is going to be proper. I know I'm training again, just getting that confidence back on my hand, on punching again with my hands. So I just want to make sure that I'm 100% right when I take the big fights.
If he's physically unable to make 147, would you consider anything 150 or something down the line, or something where?
I mean, I think the 147 division, like, I tried doing the catch weights and it didn't work for me. So, I mean, that's something my team, and then go into negotiations with Kell's team and maybe talk about that in the future. So, like I said, this is all future. I think we're talking about it too early. Anything can happen. Kell could get beaten in his next fight. I could get beat my next fight. You know, we both got beaten our last fights against by moving up to a fight for the middleweight world title. So we're both in a position where we definitely. I mean, obviously Kell has that mandatory. If I had a mandatory and I had a title, I'll definitely go face my mandatory. So you don't know where we're going to be after this fight. So.
But if you want world title, it's got to be at 147.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he has a world title, and I think at 147 it makes definitely more sense for us to do that fight.
Provided Danny wins and you had both options on the table, which one would you be clamoring more for?
I mean, they're both big fights. They're both big money fights as well. I think the fight between me and Garcia is something that always hurts me. That I know I could have won that fight, and I was beating him, schooling him till I got caught with a big shot, and that was me being me not thinking really, not sticking to the game plan. I mean, I know how that training camp went for the Garcia fight. I know how serious I was for that fight. I thought the fight was going to be a walk in the park. I never took it serious one bit. Garcia was a new kid on the block. I was like, who's this kid?
Well, I remember being there at ringside, I think 2.5 rounds in, it almost was starting to turn into a little bit of a massacre until you got caught.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was all one-sided, and I made that one mistake. And since that fight, Garcia has improved a lot, and I give him credit for it. Whoever he faces, he puts on a good fight and he beats them. I said that Garcia is a harder fight than Kell Brook, but it's just that unfinished business I have with him.
I mean, with everything that's kind of happened, you had the bad defeat in May, you've had a lot of personal problems going on in your life. Did retirement and just getting out of the public eye line and just going away and retiring ever cross your mind? Do you ever think?
No, never. I'm at my peak of my career now, where I'm strong, and mentally I've grown up quite a lot, and I see things quite differently now than I ever did before when I was young. So no, I take the sport very seriously, and I'm that mature now. I can put all that behind me and put everything to a side and focus on boxing. And boxing to me is a sport that I love, and also gets me away from everything. Keeps me away from all the drama, all the stuff that's going on around the world. It keeps me away from it. So I'm glad I have a sport like boxing that kind of helps me to do that, because if I didn't have boxing, then I'd probably go mad, with all the stuff that's been going on.
Yeah.
But it's boxing that's kept me grounded and kept me on the right path. Otherwise,
have you sorted out everything at home now? I mean,
everything's
stabilised.
Everything's stabilised over there. Obviously, with my dad talking to him, like everything's cool. End of the day, my father, my mother, and everything. I mean, family's family. You can't change that. I am obviously with boxing, it's a business, and I'm making sure that I'm doing that my own way. Asif's on board helping me, so making sure that, and I've got Al Heyman there as well, who's very understanding and wants the best for me. So they want the best for me. I mean, I'm sure my parents and my family want the best for me. It's just I needed a change. Sometimes you need to move. Family and what you do day to day, you need to move that way. Keep that separate. My family is my family. I love them to bits, and obviously my sport, my job is boxing. I'm just gonna be. I'll have a different team to do that for me. So, they will be at the next fight. Hopefully, I will invite them. I will ask them to come, and they will be at the fight. But as a team, having people like Saj and Taz, they're no longer part of the team. And I just think that it was a little bit wrong the way they left, really, because obviously Saj being my best friend, not only being my best friend, but was always with me from school days, from college and everything. And then when a man's down, which is the lowest point of my career, was when I got beat by Canelo. Mm-hmm. While I'm down, I feel like I was kicked on the floor while I was down, because these people, I think they just walked right through me and said right past me and left me where I was. They should have been there supporting me, especially with the tough time I was going through. I mean, maybe it did come a time where I was thinking, do I need to box? Should I go back in the ring again after such a bad knockout? When you get cold, I mean, I think that's what you say, it's a bad knockout. And it's happened to, but what gave me confidence to see that if it happened to a fighter like Pacquiao as well, and he can come back from it, then I'm sure I can come back from it. I have a big heart. I work very hard. But I just think that for the team to leave the way they did, and then, I mean, they can always say, I know they're always going to turn around and say that I fired them all, but I mean, it wasn't like that. It was just that it seemed to me that they all just wanted to cash out, basically, and thought, you know what, let's get our redundancy and leave. I mean, I never expected that from my people.
When did they leave, and why do you think they left?
I don't know, man. I think they probably thought I was gonna leave boxing, or I wasn't serious about, obviously, after that tough defeat. They probably thought, I'm gonna call it a day now. So they probably thought, let's just cash out. But I mean, regardless, I've got that many things going on for myself in the UK, that many businesses, that I would have looked after my people. You know, if they were loyal to me, I would be very loyal to them. And that's one thing about me is I never forget about them. I'll always take care of them and make sure they always looked after. And I would have done that with them. So obviously, if they wanted to take that route, and then, you know, with all these silly stories that are coming out, I mean, it has to be from someone from the office, basically. I mean, I can't lie about that, because at the end of the day, they had all access to everything, and there was rumours of stories coming out that never came out. Then it's funny that as soon as I get rid of some people in the team, these stories start coming out. I'm not pointing a finger who it is, but it has to be someone in house. So obviously, I think they just kind of went pear-shaped, really. I wanted to keep that relationship strong with my team. You know, even if they weren't my team still, I would have still looked after them, flown them to the fights, give them ringside tickets. Still haven't been involved. I would have still looked after them properly, man, and made sure they had a good time. But I think the way what they did was wrong, so I don't think I...
So in that sense, I mean, your dad is no longer an integral part. You said he'll be invited to the fight.
Yeah, so my dad, obviously, he's not going to be like negotiating fights
Yeah.
or anything in that sense.
I think it's important, David, that Shah's been there all the way through. He's his dad. And I think media have blown it out of proportion. I've lost a son. Just remember, that's his dad. And his mum.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah, but I think other media, not this media, other media have really given him some stick about it. And it's really disappointed, because family's family, and he's grown up with it.
Yeah, I mean,
his family's been there.
My family, they've been very good with me. My dad, my mum, and obviously, you know, I respect them. But I want that family relationship with them instead of a business relationship. And I think sometimes when you try to mix them both together, it can make things a little difficult. So that's why I want to just keep them separate. And yeah, so but yeah, let's see how it all goes. Obviously, this is my return. I'm going to hopefully be fighting in April. Got a meeting with Al Heyman, and hopefully we could talk names and where the fight's going to be. But I'd love to come back to the UK and give the UK fans a fight.
Any venue, any particular?
I don't know. I got no name just yet, but I want a decent name.
Yeah, no, so I mean venue, you're going to Manchester.
Oh, venue.
We've got a couple of venues reserved already. It's already in the pan, so we're just waiting to speak to Al. And then it is looking at May because of the Joshua Klitschko situation in end of April. So we've got to be realistic in how we can fit it in. And you've got to remember, there's so many pay-per-view days that's coming out.
Yeah.
We're not saying Amir's maybe pay-per-view for his next fight, but what we are saying that we have to fit it in the boxing schedule.
Yeah, we might have to change it a little bit, depending on my days in the US. Because I'm only allowed to stay for so many days here. But I might mix it up a little bit, go back to the UK to finish off my training camp. But I think it's the best time to leave UK and train over here. It's a little bit warmer. UK is a little bit cold at the moment, so I think that's a little bit spoiled I am now. So.
Do you think being over there keeps you focused with less distractions? Being in the Bay
I think it's a little bit harder in the UK than it is here. I mean, here is quite chilled out. Honestly, like Asif's never been there. It's going to be the first time he comes to the Bay Area, and my friend Abid just came to San Francisco and said, I can't believe how peaceful it is, because it is very calm and chilled. Where I live in San Francisco is very calm, very chilled, very slow life. And that's what you need, especially when you're in a training camp. You know, you don't need nothing going on. I used to be in LA before, I used to be in England before, and those places could be quite crazy. So the only time I get to speak to media or kind of start seeing a lot of people is when I do media days or have conference calls. Other than that, I keep myself locked away and focus on boxing.
What have you got left to achieve? You've won world titles, you've won an Olympic silver, you've earned a lot of money.
Yeah.
What
I just want to finish on a high.
Yeah.
Basically, I can't just leave the sport with a loss. I don't want to finish high, and also with just being 30, I want to show people that I'm at my peak of my career and I've still got a lot left in me. And look, I can in a couple of fights time I can win a world title. People still might think I have another couple of years left in me, but then maybe I might call it a day. I mean, you just don't know. I just want to make sure I finish on the high, and and show people that, you know, I am the best in my division, basically. So I mean, I've got the skill set, I've got everything on my side. I mean, I can say one thing, that I was in such good condition against Canelo that I was winning that fight. I've watched it numerous times, and it was just that one punch that caught me. I mean, if there wasn't that one big punch, then maybe, you know, I could have won a big fight like that. You know, so people always remember you for your last fight, but I
It's
know
always
that
a risk going up, isn't it?
it's always a big risk, yeah, and I've learned that now, because I would never have known unless I took that chance. You know, and I took that chance, and it didn't work for me. If I didn't, I would be always thinking in the back of my mind what would have happened. You know, but you always have to respect weight categories, and there's only a very few fighters who could get away with it. And we didn't have no catch weight or anything, so we don't know what weight Canelo walked in the ring at, but there was rumours at like 185 plus. But yeah, so let's see. But I see my future being bright, definitely. I mean, once I get back into it again, I get this good win, I can then start planning out where I want to be. And the 147 division has great fights for me. You know, I mean, I'm still in the top 10 names in that division, and I bring a lot of money to the table as well. So definitely I can be in the big fights. And I'm only 30. People forget how old I am, because I've been around for such a long time.
Same age as Carl.
Same age as Carl, and Carl's now fighting his biggest fight of his career. You know, so I've got it all to come again. You know, and I've done it at such a young age that people thought maybe Amir's past it now. So I want to definitely show the world that where I belong.
Because that is a point. I mean, when people look and say, you turned 30 in December, you haven't been a world champion since 2012, might think, oh, you had your career early, but now it's all petering out.
No, because I mean, you know, I got I had Frank Warren. He was my manager at the time, and when I won my first world title, then I moved to Golden Boy. So, you know, things change around your opponent. I mean, it just depends who's the world champion out there, who the best fight should be, who's the best style for you. So I did things right, you know what I mean? That's the way I did it. I had a good team around me, you know, Steve and everyone, to make sure I was making the right moves at that age. And now I'm going to go back to old school again, and I'm going to start making the right moves again, win the world titles again. And now I'm much more smarter, much mature. I understand the sport even more, and also I know I've got the ability to become world champion again. And like I said, I'm only 30. A lot of fighters, they normally win a world title at 30, and because I did it at such a young age, people think Amir's finished now. You know, he's past it, but this is my prime now, my prime stage of my career.
Mario and kids with you?
Yeah, they did. So yeah, so they're
in
here.
the Bay?
Yeah, they're in the Bay Area. So my wife hates it here. She thinks it's she's missing the UK. But she said, I want to stay with you, make sure that everything's fine, you enjoying training camp, and so yeah, I mean, making sure everything's fine. So yeah, they're all here.
Well, she could always go to New York because she wants a break time.
It's not far, exactly, it's not far, and her mum comes to visit her.
Yeah.
So that kind of splits her time up a little bit. So